Greetings, everyone. Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your host, your friend, your coach. Today, we're kicking off day two of the April class for the 5-day profitable podcast launch challenge, and I'm excited. This is the class for the US, Canada, Australia, and let's get rock and roll. All right, where is it? Let me find the right screen here. It's not this one. This one. Okay. All right. We are here. We are in business. All right, cool. So it's going to be pretty straightforward. First of all, quick introduction. We have one new person here, Travis. We're going to do that first. Give us a 30, 45 seconds intro about you. What do you do? And what do you expect? What is your goal and vision with launching your podcast so that we can get to know you? 30, 45 seconds.
Okay. My name is Travis Hale. I'm based here in San Diego, California. I'm a financial educator as well as a registered Social Security analyst. My goal and plan for using podcast is to actually uh, basically educate people on personal finance and help motivate them and give them tools and the ability to know that they can get themselves out of debt and create a future and hopefully a retirement that they want, not something that's going to be given to them by the government through like Social Security or something like that. So basically, empower people through education.
Love that. Love that. You're in the right place, my friend. I will also
Are
invite
you
you
able to
to
hear me there, Michael? Were you able to hear me there, Michael? Is it kind of low?
a little bit low.
Yeah, for some reason my computer's low, but I was able to hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
would like to connect with you as well because I really love what they shared about you. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, thank
looking
you.
forward to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
While we're at it, Michael, give us also a 30-second intro about you so that also Travis gets to know you. What do you do? And what's your vision with your podcast?
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. And it's great to be back. And the one thing that connects me to come back is the heart. I'm all about, coming from the heart and really opening up to the mystery of serving people through surrender, meaning we are mirrors. So the more we mirror each other, the more the intelligence is going to open up.
Yeah.
I don't know even how to explain it because I'm still working on the delivery of that.
Mhm.
But it's really that Michael realized that, as weird as it sounds, he's the greatest failure in his life. And when he realized that, he could empty himself up and really allow that higher mind to channel through,
Mhm.
which is really it's unstoppable. But so that's what I love to do is I love to help people, remind them that when they get out of their way, there's something greater that will, it's like an athlete says, I'm in the zone, right? So I love helping people get in the zone.
Yeah.
As Payman is going to share with us today, their zone of genius.
Mhm.
That's what I love helping people with.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Always
no problem.
having you with us. Bryan, can you give us a 30-second intro about you? If you're driving, that's okay. Don't worry. Focus on driving, my friend. Let's get
It's it's finding the buttons. I can find the buttons. I'm a smart individual.
No
Hey,
comment.
my
find the
name's
right
Bryan Tarr from
button.
San Diego. I know a lot of you. I know a lot of you. Everything in life is about connections.
Yes.
Payment has shown me that. And I'm good at relationships and I'm good at technology. And I discovered that business owners, by not keeping relationships, money was walking right out the door.
Mhm.
So I created a system so they can retain and foster those relationships and make more money. It's what I love to do. And I'm a good dancer.
Ooh, I like that. That's the best part. Awesome. Thank you, brother. About me, I'm a collector. I collect success stories. I'm the biggest cheerleader you will find. I'm always up to push people to go after their dreams. And I'm connected. I love bringing people together. And podcasting has connected me with the world, opened up the world for me, changed, transformed, and in some ways, as I explained to you guys yesterday, literally saved my life in some ways, allowed me to get back on my feet financially, emotionally, kill my shyness, realize some of my dreams, becoming not only an author, but a 4-time, soon to be 5-time #1 international best-selling author, public speaking, TEDx speaker, uh, thriving academy, expanding to the world, soon to the moon. And what else? Successful podcast, fast approaching 400 episodes and beyond. So a lot of things. So just all about me. But yeah, highly recommend Travis to watch the replay of yesterday, because yesterday I go about I explain in details how podcasting is such a game changer for not only for your business, but I would say even more importantly for you as a human being. Because just like, for example, the typical example, let's say you want to make $1 million. Sure, the $1 million is amazing, but even more valuable is the person you become in the process, the skills you acquire along the way, the people you meet. These are infinitely more important, more valuable than any financial gains. So highly recommend you watch that replay. It's on the Facebook group. I'll send you the replay as well as the slides, because that's going to really blow your mind and show you the infinite possibilities that podcasting offers. And today, we're going to really get into the meat and potato. And today is going to be about the central point of everything I do, which is identifying your zone of genius. The best business to build is the business where you simply share your story, speaking from the heart. So yeah, so this is what we're going to be doing today. Before we dive in, any questions from yesterday? Michael, Bryan, let's keep it short, sweet, so we can move on.
Just gratitude. I mean, gratitude is everything. Gratitude because it's important to continually ask those questions. You know, why do I do what I do? Why is it that I want to do a podcast?
Yes.
And really, which I didn't answer the question in the beginning, is to disrupt the social media and turn it on its head
Yes.
and really bring the sacred media in it. We have an opportunity, we have a gift, and it's not just to, you know, get on and share and get likes and comments. It's about the transformation of human lives that, you know, they may not have heard what you share today. They could have tuned into the news today and they heard you.
Yes.
So things like that, it's like there's something much bigger than our success, than our titles and all of that.
Yeah.
It's the human consciousness. Where are we going with this human consciousness? And if people like us don't step up, where are we going to be in 10 years? Where are we going to be in 20 years? So really what you got going on here, like I said yesterday, Payman, is it's game changing, because podcasting is, you never know who's going to be the next Lewis Howes. It could be Travis Hale. It could be Bryan Tarr. I've known Bryan, and, you know, he's a good speaker. And, you know, we never know who's going to be the next Tesla or the next Einstein. So you could be talking to someone on your podcast. Maybe it's not you. Maybe the Einstein is the one you're speaking with.
Yeah.
You know, so this is limitless. So it's beautiful. Thank you,
brother. I appreciate those candid words. Love that. Thank you. Anyways,
I'm gonna jump in for a second here while
Please.
I can. What I learned yesterday was this. There's three men here. There's 3 guys still here from yesterday. All 3 of us think differently. We know that it's important to have our voice, to share our voice, and we know that we're not the smartest tool in the shed to be able to do a podcast. But Payman is laying down how simple it is.
Okay.
And Payman, when you lay down how to create the podcast and how simple you make it, I literally spit coffee out my nose. It's just, it's more easier than I thought. So I'm like, okay, Travis has something to say, Michael has something to say, I got something to say, and Payman can help us to understand how to set it up, how to do it, and how to make money from it. And we allow ourselves to create a good relationship with Payman. We allow ourselves to benefit from his expertise. That's how people make it. We don't need to be the smartest one, but we need to have good connections.
that's it. Absolutely. And one of my favorite mantras and part of my branding is 1 + 1 is not 2, but 11. 3 people coming together. 3 people coming together is not 3, but 111, and so on and so forth. Can I be successful on my own? Yes. Can you guys be successful on your own? Absolutely. When we combine our efforts, our intellect, our vision, our mission, our resources, our connections, then we can exponentially explode it and not just reach the moon, but go for Andromeda and beyond much faster together. So absolutely, it's about coming together. Love that. Thank you for that, Bryan. All right, speaking of money, so today I'm going to be showing you the central core of how to leverage podcasting the right way in YouTube and how to literally, this is the entire premise of this challenge, how to start making money. And by money, I don't mean just peanuts from YouTube. I'm talking real high-ticket clients with a brand spanking new YouTube channel or podcast in as little as 45 to 60 days, even if you have no audience, because that's me. When I started 5 years ago, I was beyond broke, depressed, suicidal, credit cards canceled. I had to ask my sister to book me a ticket to come back to Canada from Hong Kong, landing in Toronto with only $200 to my name. And podcasting is what opened up the world for me, the connections and everything. So we're going to share all of that together. So before we start, I'd like to get some interaction here. What do you guys think is the number one reason why most coaches, entrepreneurs online fail to get any traction, meaning any leads or any clients? What is the number one reason from your experience, guys? Who wants to go at it?
One thing that was a big one for Michael was he would compare himself with others. So therefore he wouldn't channel his message.
Yes, that's a big one. Absolutely. Absolutely. But there's something even more, the number one reason. All right, let me give it for you guys. It's because they lack clarity. They want to help everyone with all of issues. Oh, let me help you with your finance, your relationships, your fitness, your kitchen, your garage, your garden, and everything else under the sun. That's beautiful, but that's something only God can do. Me and you are not God, but we're a piece of God. So what we need to do is identify and focus on one very specific pain point for one very specific person. Now, how do we do that? And this is what I'm going to be explaining that to you. We're going to fix that. We're going to solve this by focusing and identifying on your zone of genius and true gifts. We all have our own zone of genius, and this is what we're going to be doing today. Have you guys heard of the term zone of genius before? What is a
No.
zone of genius in your mind? What is the definition of zone of genius for you guys? And one sentence.
Your kung fu, your way.
Love that. Wow. Okay. Travis, what is for you the definition of zone of genius?
Hmm. When I hear that term, I'm kind of thinking of like, what is the one area that not only do you have a deep interest in, but something that wakes you up, that you're constantly thinking about and talking about, that one area or aspect, or maybe aspects of your life that keep you motivated and driving and moving you forward.
That's absolutely it, my friend. That's absolutely it. Bryan, what is for you the definition of zone of genius? All right. I'm going to let you drive, Bryan. Okay, let's go. So my personal approach, the four-step approach to a profitable, not just podcast, but a profitable business is this. Number one, identify your zone of genius and your true gifts. As you will see, everything is very logical and follows from the previous step. There's no guesswork involved in here. Once you know what is your zone of genius, you'll know what's your gift. And then you will know what is the number one pain point you can solve and for who. And then you will know who's your exact ideal avatar. And then you will be able, once you have all these three pieces of information, then you will know where is that person hanging out. And you simply put yourself in front of them and you simply invite them. Don't chase, don't beg, you simply invite them. As simple as that. Let's dive deeper into that. There's four ways to identify your zone of genius. The four most common ways. Number one is to look at your professional background. If you spend any amount of time in any field, in industry, any career, then that's the first place, an obvious place to start, because you understand that world intimately. You know you speak the language, you know the pain points, so you will be very qualified to build a very impactful and profitable business around that. The second one is if you have any high income skills. What is high income skill? For example, selling, closing, negotiating, copywriting, public speaking, graphic designing, web designing, any skill that you acquired along the way, and that people have paid you a good amount of money, that's a high income skill. The next one is if you have any God-given natural innate talent. Some people are born with amazing skills for numbers, for words, for speaking, for sporting abilities, for music, for writing, for painting. Even something as simple as, say, you're good at playing the guitar, you can build a very successful business around that, teaching others how to learn that, or the piano, or dancing. Bryan, you're a dancer? There's quite a lot of people that have built very successful businesses teaching others how to dance. So that's the special talent. The last one, and that's the most popular and my favorite, and that is any major challenges that you've overcome in your life. Because what you've overcame, others are going through that. And these people are desperately looking for someone to guide them, to hold their hand and tell them, listen, grab my hand. I've been in your shoes. I'm going to be your big brother, your big sister. We're going to get out of this here. Because again, when someone is looking for a coach, they're not looking for a disconnected millionaire or billionaire. They're looking for someone that is just a few steps ahead of them. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of them. Someone they can relate with, identify with, resonate with, connect with. And most importantly, someone that is accessible and reachable. Basically, sharing your story of how you overcame whatever you had to go through. So if we look at these four ways to identify your zone of genius, which one would you say applies the most to you? Let's start with you, Travis.
This is interesting. For me personally, I believe that it is actually a couple of these put together. It's not just one, and it's actually a combination of all of them.
So which one would you say applies the most to you? I mean, you said combination. Which one of those 2 or 3?
Okay, so I would say that my professional experience and background has a lot to do with it.
Sure.
As well as high income skill that I have. And then it definitely has a lot to do with major challenges that I've overcome through my journey. That has really kind of I don't know, tempered it as a way.
Sure.
Has actually tempered my talent of being able to take complex ideas and concepts and make them very simple and relevant to individuals.
Love that. Love that. Absolutely. And we're going to unpack that in a moment. What about you, Michael, in a nutshell?
Yeah, in a nutshell. Background, professional experience, not in the like the corporate space, but in the background of getting everything wrong. Became an expert at that. And the high income skill is that you traverse through the darkest of the dark. It gives you the highest income skill to show up and really appreciate the light, but beyond that, to transcend the light, to remember that you're here to bring both together as one.
Yes.
That's a special talent. Just that, and I'm not saying it's a special talent that Michael possesses, everyone possesses.
Yes.
any major challenge that you may have overcome. I think I kind of said that.
Mhm.
You know, being locked up in prison, drug addiction, suicide, near-death experiences galore, to
Wow.
pushing life away and now opening up to life, getting addicted to life, chasing the pleasure, the shiny object, and then realizing it's not fulfillment, and really embracing both, like we can say, the darkness as, you know what, you got me to where I am, the shiny object syndrome. Thank you for reminding me that everything is here now.
Mhm.
Game changer. And I love to do that for others. I love to remind. Yeah. So in a nutshell, everything, just as Travis said, I think it's the same answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow, you got an incredible story. Can't wait to finally get on the podcast and have you unpack your life. And speaking of that, Travis, I'd love to have you on my podcast as well next week. Book a time. I want to know your story, Travis.
Sounds good.
Uh, I'll send you my calendar, book a time for next week, and we're gonna rock and roll. Awesome.
Sounds great.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Bryan, are you able to chime in? If you're driving, focus on driving, brother. All right. We're gonna come back to it in a moment. Next, another very powerful way to identify your zone of genius is what is one thing that you're known for in your circle? What is one thing that you're the go-to person in your circle? One thing that you love geeking out about? These are great ways to identify something that you can that can be your zone of genius. Another very beautiful test for that and way to determine it is, let's say, for example, I'm hosting an event and I have a speaker that bails out on me last minute. If I were to call you, hey, Travis, Michael, Bryan, I need you to come and do a talk for an hour. What is one thing you can talk about for an hour with no preparation and go deep? That's a fantastic way to identify your zone of genius. It's not about going wide. We all have multiple passions, interests, absolutely. But one thing that you can really go deep in a meaningful, impactful, and very profitable way, compelling way. So that's another fantastic way to identify your zone of genius. And one thing we all do, no exception, is that we take for granted our skills because there's nothing special for the second nature. But you could do not make a mistake. Just because it's second nature for you, guess what? There's a lot of people, sorry, for the right person, that is gold. And they will pay any amount of money because that's exactly what they're looking for. And once we identify our zone of genius, that's going to allow us to identify the people that are literally craving for what we have. It's not about connecting with all of the people in the world. It's about connecting with the right people, the people that need what we have at that specific moment. Does that make sense, guys?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So again,
That's it.
these are 4 or 5 ways to, I really want you guys to really take some time tonight, to really brainstorm and then share your answers inside the Facebook group. If you guys want, I'd be happy to create also a WhatsApp group. The group from the UK, Australia, sorry, UK, Europe, and Asia. They requested to have a WhatsApp group. I can create a WhatsApp group for you guys as well. We can all, connect in an intimate way there. So I really want you guys to take this seriously because this is where the gold is. It's not about trying to help, to make the mistake to go and help everyone. It's about going as laser focused, to have as much clarity as possible because the more clarity you have, the more magnetic your message will be. And the more magnetic your message will be, guess what? The more profitable it's going to be. Because at the end of the day, we all want to make money. But let's do so in a way that's meaningful, impactful, and transformational and purposeful. So these are the ways. So what is one topic, one area that, in 1 or 2 words that you guys can really, you love geeking out about? And if I were to call you, say, hey, I need you to come and step up and do a talk for an hour, no preparation. What is one topic you can do that? Travis.
Personal finance.
Beautiful. Love that. Michael.
I know it's gonna sound weird, but can I explain it a little bit? That way it doesn't sound weird.
Yes, keep it short, please. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So the one thing that I hear so much from the people that we work with and even people that we meet, it's, oh, Michael, you're human. As weird as that sounds,
Mm,
because when we work in the spiritual space, everybody's trying to be a kind of spiritual, like
mm,
a spiritual person, right?
yeah.
And when they realize that when you just meet them, when you meet them where they are, by meeting yourself where you are and not trying to be anything else other than that,
Mm,
it's like, oh my gosh, I don't got to be like that to be spiritual. I think it's
mm,
the most freeing thing because it's like you're doing here with the podcast, Lorenzo, Payman. You're sharing with people that you could just show up as yourself. So being human is like the one thing that I hear more than anything. The second one is that you really simplify things that I've struggled with for years.
thank you, brother.
Surrender and things like that. Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you. One of my favorite saying is this: your crap is your gold. Or in a more PC way, your mess is your message. Nothing happens to you, but for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
we all go through a fair share of pain, trauma, abuse, tragedy, betrayal, disease, sickness, struggle. Sure, it hurts a lot when we go to that, but guess what? Then that becomes your story. Then your story becomes your gifts, and your gifts become your duty and responsibility to share them. The last thing that we need, that we can be greedy with, is our gifts. Our gifts, a smile and being kind, these are the last thing that we can be greedy with. It doesn't cost anything to treat someone with respect, with dignity, to smile, and to just share your gift, because your gifts are meant to share them. From my understanding, one of the main reasons we are here in this world is to share our gifts with others so we can all collectively benefit and rise from it and through them. So again, one of the best ways also to identify your zone of genius is look at 80 crap that you overcame. Whether it's one of the things that literally saved my life when I was about to seriously considering to check out back in 2020, when nothing was working for me, was speaking with people that overcame infinitely more challenging things than me. People that had lost it all, gone to jail. Bryan is one of them, one of the men that really helped me literally save my life. His story is incredible. People that overcame terminal diseases, telling me that them being diagnosed with stage 4 cancer was the greatest gift of their life. When you hear that, that makes you question everything. So, what? How can you say that? Or people that have lost it all and that have had their life completely shattered because they had a life-altering accident, becoming paraplegic or becoming, handicapped. And yet they all unanimously told me these were the greatest gift of their lives. And they told me, all, just because you're going through some temporary financial challenges, it's not a reason for you to check out. You're young, you're smart, you can get back on your feet. And this is literally what saved my life. So again, look at your life, all the crap that you had to overcome. The more painful it was, the more impactful, the more purposeful, the more transformational it's going to be. Because keyword here is transformation, not transactional, but transformational. So again, this is one of my favorite saying: your crap is your gold. In a more PC way, your mess is your message. So now, once we've identified our zone of genius, that's going to allow us to identify what is the one pain point we can address and solve. And the next step is going to be, that's going to allow us to identify what is our avatar. And avatar, your avatar, ideally, is someone that can identify with you, that relates with you, that see themselves in you, even that can resemble you. For example, me as a guy, let me give you a very silly example. Can I become a successful pregnancy coach for women? Can I learn it? Sure. But can I really relate with them? Can they really identify with me? Absolutely not, because I can never be pregnant. So instead, again, your avatar is someone that ideally looks as much as possible as you. And ultimately, your avatar is no one else but yourself. If you can build your business, your offer, your messaging, and your podcast the way you wished existed just a few steps ago when you were at your lowest, then you're golden. If there's one thing I want you to remember from today is this: you are your avatar. Because ultimately, you're just sharing your story of how you've overcame whatever crap was thrown at you. And by you sharing your story, you're going to be at the same time do two magical things. One, displaying expertise because you overcome it. And two, building trust, building rapport with your audience. And once you do that, that's when the magic opens, wallets open, opportunities, doors, and so on and so forth. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. So as I mentioned, ultimately, you are your avatar. Build your offer, craft your messaging, build your business, and ultimately your podcast the way you wish existed when you started your journey. This is how I've built my podcast, my academy, everything I do. Because again, you are your avatar. It's not about learning about something that it's not about spending another 5, 10 years to learn a new skill, to learn a new, to build a new persona. No, none of that. As simply you be, just like you mentioned beautifully, Michael, you being you. Now, once we've done that, that's gonna lead us in a very logical way, no guesswork, into identifying that very specific person. The more specific, the more magnetic, the more compelling your message will be. And that's going to result in your message, everything you do being very profitable. Don't try to be generic or help men or women or people. No, be as specific as possible. Once you do that, that's when your message will really resonate, because the last thing you want is to be vague and a generalist. Nobody wants a generalist, but people want and will pay big dollars, big amount of money for an expert. Become the go-to person, the go-to guy for your niche, for your industry. For example, for you, Travis, for financial education, become the financial expert, financial mentor, financial, even though I don't like this word, financial guru, financial activator. Elijah is not here, but yesterday he said something. I had a chat with him the other day. I love the branding he uses, the financial alchemist, something like that. So that's very important, guys. Now that we've gone through all of this, I've given you the blueprint to identify your zone of genius. Now, looking at this in a logical way, what would you say now, knowing all of that? What is your podcast going to be about? What is your zone of genius? What is the one very specific pain point that you're going to be able to not only identify and address, but solve in a compelling way, in a magnetic way to your own podcast? Let's hear that in one sentence. Travis.
So the one solid pain point I want to solve is really helping people find the courage to actually talk about money and make money a non-taboo subject, so they can actually start gripping with where they're at financially and move forward to where they want to be.
Yes. Love that. Love that. Yes. Michael.
I was just reflecting on that from the homework, and just when I thought, I knew I had it, it just opens up even more. Really, when you said about think about the person that's 2 or 3 steps behind you, that was just 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, I was trying to find myself in some kind of plant medicine and some kind of ritual practice, purification, doing all kinds of fasting from breath, water, food fasting, all of these different things. And the thing that I desire to focus more than anything on the podcast is to see it as a portal, as a frequency activator. And the focus is, are we having a physical conversation? Are we having a frequency vibrational convo session? Meaning whatever you're going through life, there's always energy, patterns, programs, identities that we can transform like that when we face energy. That is the intention of the podcast. I'm excited about it. I already started creating it, payment, so I'm excited.
I'm really happy to hear that, my friend. I'm cheering for you. I'm proud of you. You've come a long way. So well done, brother. Well done. Thank you.
We don't do it alone. We don't do it alone.
Absolutely
It's people
not.
like you that show up. right?
you. Yes.
Yeah,
You know,
appreciate you.
my goal is to plant the seed in your mind. Just like the saying, you can lead a horse to the water, but you cannot make it drink.
Yeah.
I can share you exactly how to get clients on demand, but you need to put in the work. Just like
Right.
all of you guys, for example, Travis, you can show someone how to get out of financial mess, but unless they take the daily action steps for that, they can't get it. You're not going to be able to do it for them. That applies to everything. So yes, my job is to plant that seed, to inspire you, to hold your hand as a big brother, big sister, well, not big sister, big brother, but so that you can then and show you the path, even take the first step with you, alongside you, but then you have to do the rest of the walk. Awesome.
For sure.
Beautiful.
So we use that phrase all the time that knowledge is power. That's not actually true.
Say that
It's the
again.
we use the phrase all the time that knowledge is power.
Yes.
That's not true. The use of knowledge is
Action.
power.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Can
Yes.
can I add to that? Can I add to
Please.
that, Payment? Because
Yes.
that's so beautiful, because in the philosophy of teaching and all that, right? They say to know and not do, or Yoda, right? To know and not do is not to know at all, right? So I think you hit something so beautiful that it even opened up something that, I've had come to me, but it's like, how do I, finalize it and all these different things instead of just showing up,
Mm,
right? It's just taking action. It's as simple as taking action,
absolutely.
because we can like over perfect it right here. All it is procrastination.
Yeah.
And I think that, when we just show up, this is the thing. This is the thing that I wanted to share. Is my goal is to take people from being afraid of the woo woo to realizing that life is the wow wow right now. You don't have to be spiritual to be wow.
I love that.
Like Travis, his magic is finances. That's freaking magic to change somebody's consciousness that is affecting their family and everyone in their life, and they just open up to money. Travis, like you're my guy, dude. I've been working on that for years. So like what you're doing is like you're bringing back the energetic of the sacredness of what money was truly designed for: connections, resources, collaborations, and also community. So you're doing so much in just one thing. So congratulations.
Love that.
Well,
Love
so
that.
you had mentioned vibrations. You had
Yes.
mentioned the power of vibration, right? Because everything is at a vibrational level, right?
Yes.
And we measure that as current,
Mm,
right?
Yep.
So money, when you look at money and you're holding it in your hand, you're actually holding what's called currency.
yes.
Yeah.
It's all vibration, it's all energy, it's all the same thing, it's all connected.
Exactly.
Just like the
Exactly.
vibration of my voice, the things that I say,
Yes.
the things that I think, the things that I hold dear, the things that I let
1000%.
go, the things that I create, and positivity, it's all interconnected. It's all the same thing. You
Yes.
just have to learn how to control it. And that's why we're here, is how to
Yeah.
control it and broadcast it out.
I love
Mm.
that. Absolutely. Money is definitely energy. Energy cannot be stopped. The fastest you let go through, the fastest come back. The faster, So beautiful. Thank
Just
you. Love
just
that.
gotta reach out and open up your hands.
Yeah.
And you know what? And you know what? Payment knows this. I would love to talk with you, Travis, because what you're saying, maybe there's a partnership here. I don't know. I can't control anything, and I'm not here for that. But there's been a vision of what's called vibrillionaire, is to bring the riches of money, that it's okay to have money, and it's okay to show up and serve at your greatest level,
Mhm.
because this is the demystification here. The teachers, the sages, the gurus, whatever people want to call them, they were the richest people on the planet because they were rich inside, and people would bring them food. People would give them everything they wanted for nothing. Just because they didn't have millions in the bank didn't mean that they weren't rich. So what you're doing, Travis, is you're bringing the spiritual essence of money to where it truly always was. It's not like you're unveiling something new. You're just unveiling something that was already ancient before it was corn. How many communities, how many people came together, and somebody had corn, another person had beets or whatever, and they were like, oh my gosh, now we're friends. Now we're gonna help people, all of this. I'm getting chills as I even say that. So
Yeah.
yeah, Travis, keep shining. You're doing amazing, amazing magic. And you knowing that the vibration is behind it, a lot of people in the financial industry do not know that. Like you're bringing the light in a very dark place of ignorance. That's the greatest darkness is ignorance. So great job.
Thank you.
Love that. Love that. Absolutely. Beautiful. Awesome. Wow. Awesome. Here's some powerful reminders for you guys. You already know them because you're all veterans and seasoned pros. Do not sell your time. Your business cannot be transactional because there's always a ceiling how much you can charge if you're charging by the hour. Don't sell information. Information can be obtained pretty much for free with ChatGPT, AI, YouTube, and Google. Instead, make it transformational. The more transformational, the more people will pay for it. People pay for two things. One, transformation. Two, for speed. If you can help someone achieve the result faster than they can normally do, you can pretty much write your own ticket. So this is important. And as we mentioned earlier, business, especially high ticket selling, is about one thing and one thing only. Start with a T, ends with a T, 5 letters. Trust. Now, how do you build that trust? By building rapport. How do you build rapport? By simply having heart-to-heart conversations, speaking from the heart, being authentic, being vulnerable, sharing your story. And as I mentioned earlier, people want to work with someone who's just a few steps, 1, 2, 3, at most 4 steps ahead of them, not a disconnected billionaire. They want someone they can relate with, identify with, resonate with, they can see themselves with. Essentially, as I said, you are your avatar. If you can remember one thing from today, build your messaging, craft your offer, your business, and ultimately your podcast the way you wished existed when you were just a few steps ago, when you were at the lowest. If you can keep that in mind, you're golden. And people want to work with someone that is accessible, reachable, not disconnected. These are very important, especially when it comes to transformational. Ask yourself, what kind of offer that's going to not only transform, but literally not only save lives, but save families? For example, Travis, helping someone get out of financial mess is changing the trajectory and destiny of an entire family. That is transformational. So ask yourself, what can I offer that can literally change the trajectory of this family, not just for now, but for generations? Generational transformation. If you can do that, like ending generational poverty, there's no limit how much you can charge for that. My coach is a former pastor in Toronto, Canada. I paid him $10,000 2 years ago for his coaching. Now the same program is $25,000. He has a one-on-one VIP of $75,000 for 3 months. He doesn't advertise. He has a waiting list because he gets results and faster. He helps people sell without being sales and sleazy and 10xing their sales. Selling from the heart. Was that the name of the book that you mentioned earlier, Travis? Selling from the Heart?
Yes, sir. Selling from the Heart by Larry Levine.
I'm gonna look up that book on Audible. I'm getting goosebumps right here, chills as well. So it's all about vibration. Just like in financial and business, you know, I saw a video on YouTube that really touched me the other day. It said, when you're looking for a perfect partner, don't look for the hottest woman. Look for the date your vibration, your frequency. If you can match the frequency, then just like in business, once you build a trust, there's no need to pitch to sell. It's a coming together, whether it's in relationships and business and everything. It's all about trust, vibration. When you're talking earlier, when I was doing this, I'm just like matching the frequencies. This is not woo. This is real. I've seen it in my life. So
Travis has got a good story about something his uncle told him about that. So sometimes sometimes I'm trying to figure out how the nice way to say it.
Yeah, that was actually my grandfather, but yeah.
Your grandfather.
Yeah. So how my grandfather would say it. Well, so how this came about was I was really excited when I was 16, getting to introduce my grandfather to my 19-year-old girlfriend. And I was super excited because I thought this was the one. I was in love. Great girl and everything. My grandfather got to meet her. We all sat and talked, blah, 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 blah. she had to go off to work. And my grandfather hands me a cigarette and a beer and goes, "Well, son, I can see you're having a good time." I go, "Oh, I'm having a great time." He goes, "Well, I'm going to tell you something, and you're gonna hear it, but you're not gonna listen, and you probably won't understand until you're older in life." And I go, "Okay, pops, hit me with it." He goes, "Just remember, and son, sometimes in life, the fucking you get is not worth the fucking you get."
Wait,
And
wait,
I
wait.
just
Say the
smiled,
last
and
part
he
again. Say the fucking again.
he's is not worth the fucking you get.
Oh, yes. That is quote worthy, t-shirt worthy. Absolutely.
Yeah, of course I just smiled, and he goes, "Yeah, you heard it, but you didn't listen." I
Yes.
don't know how many times I've thought that I should have had that tattooed down my arm since
Never too
then.
late, my friend. It's never too late.
Yeah.
Or at
I'm
least put
not a
on a
big
t-shirt.
tattoo guy. Yeah, exactly,
So
exactly.
Travis might have a podcast. The gift you get is not the gift you may want.
In a more PC way, yes.
Yeah,
Beautiful, beautiful. Love that. Wow, that's amazing. But hey, listen, I'm buzzing. I love that. The universe connected us for a reason. So thank you. Here's another big
you're
one. One
welcome.
of my favorite mantras is never put yourself in a position to ask, beg, or chase. Instead, invite. Let me repeat that. Never put yourself in a position to ask, beg, or chase. Instead, invite. So this is why I don't chase after people, whether it's a client, prospect, or a girl. No, I simply invite. So let me illustrate that. Most people in business, they used to do like smile and dial, or now smile and spam. That's not a good way to go.
Hmm.
Instead, for example, for podcasting, let's say you see someone on TV or you just read a piece about them that really inspires you and you want to reach out to them to pick up their brains. Hey, I just saw you on TV and I would love to pick up your brain. Can we get a 20-minute conversation? You will not even hear back from them. But instead, what if you were to say, hey, John, Michael, Travis, Mary, Susan, my name is Payman, and I'm the host of Leader of Podcast. I just saw something about you. I love it. It inspired me, and I would love for you to come share your story on my podcast. With this approach, using this simple approach, in 4 years, I had only two people say no to me. One was a woman about to give birth, so we had to reschedule it. And second was a man about to move for work from the US to Germany, so we had to reschedule it. But nobody has told me to get lost or no or ignored me. So that approach alone has got me from 1% reply rate to 100%. And oh hell yes, because when you have a podcast, when you invite someone on a podcast, you're doing them a favor, regardless of how small or how big your podcast may be, because that gives them visibility. They can repurpose that for content. It gets your foot in the door. It gets you access to people you normally wouldn't be able to get access to. So try that next time, not just for business, with your family, your partners, your kids, your neighbors. Instead of asking, invite them and see the reaction. It's going to turn the table. You will go from the one being chosen to the one being chased. And that's a very powerful position to be in. So try this. Invite simply. Don't ask, don't beg, don't chase, invite. So we've seen once we identify our zone of genius, this can allow us to identify what is the exact pain point we're solving and for who, then simply identify where they hang out. And once you've done that, simply reach out to them and invite them onto your podcast. Simple as that. This is exact method that allowed me to get way over 100 iTicket clients with a YouTube channel of less than 200 subscribers. That approach, simply inviting. First of all, having clarity. I don't invite randoms. I interview my prospects, know exactly where you can help at the highest level with what pain point, identify where they hang out. For me, it's been on Facebook. Facebook groups are absolute gold mine. For the first 2 years, 100% of my clients came from Facebook groups. And simply have a conversation on the podcast. Don't sell, don't pitch, just have a conversation. Get to know them. When I meet someone, one of the questions I don't like to ask is, so what do you do? Instead, I ask, so tell me, Travis, what's your story? What's your impact? How are you making the world a better place around you and around the world? Because if you ask him, So what do you do? Which is the first question people ask. And if you answer, oh, I'm an accountant, a financial advisor, I'm whatever, podcaster, you get boxed right away and they can't wait to end the conversation. Instead, focus on the impact. For example, Travis, for you as a financial advisor, you can say, well, what I do is I help my clients have a peaceful sleep peacefully at night. So what does that mean? You really get them intrigued. They're not just trying to make conversation for being polite. They're really intrigued because remember, attention is the most valuable currency in the world of business. Attention. If you emphasize on your impact, not on the title, you really get their attention, and that opens up the world and the doors for meaningful conversation as opposed to just superficial, surface level, just to be polite with a fake office smile and all that. So emphasize on the impact. I heard it from Bryan Tracy. It's a beautiful video. I can share it with you. He shared a story of a man, he's a janitor, said, when he was asked, so what do you do? Instead of saying, I'm a janitor as well, my job is to make sure that my people, my client, work in an environment that inspires them. So what does that mean? You see how we turn being a lowly janitor to being someone that, hey, makes a place inviting, inspiring for the people that work there. So ask yourself, what is your impact? How can you focus on the impact you're having, not the title, but the impact you're having? Does that make sense?
For sure, because you're actually going deeper and asking more, who are you? Not what are you, who are you?
And that opens the door to real meaningful conversation, meaningful connections, trust, opportunities, blessings, wallets, business, and so on and so forth. So again, guys, you guys already know that, you're all seasoned pros, but we all need to hear that one thing. Just like a book, you may read the same book 3 times, and each time you will get something different because at each time you're a different person. Just like you mentioned that powerful message your grandfather told you, Travis, years ago, you were not ready for that at that time. But over the years, you now starting to understand the deeper meaning or that simple sentence. Never put yourself in a position to ask, beg, or chase. Instead, invite. It's not a bunch of words. Or your crap is your gold. That's not just a word salad. It's way deeper. So we looking to go deep so we can have meaningful conversations to have transformational impact. We're not selling our knowledge. We're offering transformation. Life-changing, changing families, and generational transformation. Once you reach generational transformation, when you say, oh, my fee is $20,000. All right, what's the next step? No questions asked. As opposed to trying to nickel and dime you, or do you have payment plan? It's too expensive, and so on and so forth. Focus on the impact and transformation. That's my message for you guys. Take it to heart. Well done. Today's it was a short lesson. We finished. I actually prefer these smaller groups because it allows us to go deeper. Last year, I used to do those big challenges with 50, 60, 100 people. Yes, it was fun, but it was really, I couldn't really connect with the people because so many people, and I couldn't stay like all day with them. This is why it's what I told you. Build your business the way you wish existed. Just like you guys have been in programs, as soon as I paid, never heard back from the people. You have a question, submit a ticket. We'll get back to you before Christmas, 3565. You get on a call, you're member number 365. Good luck getting awarded. Or you say, oh, here's your content. You have 36 videos each 3 hours. Good luck. No, nobody wants that. This is why I cap my classes, whether it's for the free challenge or my academy, to 5 to 10 students on purpose. So I can work with them at the highest level, really go deep, get to know them so I can serve them at the highest level. This is why I keep my classes small in numbers. And also because, listen, I live in paradise. I want to enjoy life. I don't want to be tied to computer 24/7. So anyways, thank you for today. Here's a sneak peek for tomorrow. We're gonna be taking today's insights, your zone of genius, and we're gonna be crafting your irresistible Godfather offer. It's gonna be based on what is the number one pain point you can solve and for who, very specifically. And then I'm gonna introduce you, or rather, emphasize on another central point of business that changed my life, and that is having a quantifiable, measurable end result. For example, for me, my quantifiable, measurable end result is I work with authors, coaches, and speakers, and I help them get the first paying client in as little as 45 days, even if you have no audience, through their own profitable podcast or YouTube channel. So you're offered us to answer these questions. What is it? What do I do? What do I need to do? And how long is it going to take? The time frame. This is what a quantifiable, measurable end result. For example, for you, Travis, let's say you have a family get on their feet financially in as little as, say, 90 days. Here's another thing. Don't use the word within or in, because that exposes you to legal liability. Instead, use in as little as. Because just like I said earlier, you can provide the blueprint, but you don't know how the person is going to implement it. That's out of your control.
100%, 100%, because they may not implement anything.
Exactly. So just like the traditional saying, you can take a horse to the water, but you cannot make it drink. You can show someone, Travis, how to get out of financial mess in the next 12 months, but they need to implement it. If they don't, that's outside of your control. So this is why, to protect you legally, use the word in as little as, not within, and not. I learned that the hard way. I used to say, oh, let me get you your first client in 30 days. And then people didn't implement it. I was in trouble. Now I don't do that anymore. So, yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Any questions? I'm here for you. I'm going to be posting the replay and the slides inside the Facebook group in a couple of hours. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Michael, you raise your hand. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I have something that like I had an aha moment, and it's so simple, yet I guess seeing it in a different way, that we can see that the majority of the world is so caught up with their devices that they don't think for themselves. They don't know what it feels like to think outside of the thought that they're thinking. They think they got to think, right? Meaning media, news, like so many people are looking outside of themselves, right? So when you share from a different, like, dimensional angle, because I mean, it may seem simple to us, like you were saying earlier, but when you're shifting the conversation, like when you were working with Travis, like the magic right there in the moment when you were telling Travis, when you share about you can help somebody sleep peaceful at night. You're not going to share what you do because we're so used to saying what we do, right? Even I do it, right? And when you said that, it really woke up like a light bulb, because it's like the greatest teachers, or gurus, sages, whatever we want to call them, they answered they answered with a question. They never gave a response. So when you do that, like you just did that with Travis, you gave him something to offer as a question instead of like a structured, oh, he's a financial advisor. Like you opened up, like who knows what questions you open up in their consciousness. So you're actually, with what you're doing, and this is brilliant, you're actually helping people think for themselves, like feel for themselves. Because most podcasters, and I'm not downing anybody because it all serves a purpose, this is why this is happening right here, right? We can't value something if we don't know what the end value of it is. So what you're sharing is, it's beautiful to see how you reframe the question, because it's an invitation for them to look in themselves, not just hear us as a podcaster. That's the brilliance.
Yeah.
And I think that like what you shared, Payman, if anybody's watching this on the replay, it's like this is how you dive in with people.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just creating a podcast. They're
No,
basically helping people free their own minds to think for themselves. Not
yes,
just with the person you're interviewing or who's ever interviewing a person, but also the listener is like, wait a minute, I can think for myself. They might not say that, but they're thinking that. I think that's
yeah,
brilliant. I think
absolutely.
that's brilliant.
Beautifully said, my friend. Absolutely, absolutely, yes. It's about empowering people to share their stories and to help them realize that their story matters, they matter, their voice matters. Because one of the things that's holding people back is, and that was holding me back, is what the hell do you think you are? You're nobody. Your story doesn't matter. I'm not an expert. I'm not a celebrity. For me, because I had a very low, not even low, but negative self-esteem, because I used to be fat, big nose, no hair. Who the hell is going to look at me? Who's going to take me seriously? And so on and so forth. All these false narratives, the story we tell ourselves. Just like Tony Robbins says, change your story, change your life. That's not cheesy. It's a very deep principle. So, and just on that, change your story, change your life. One of the biggest obstacles we all face is we get on our own way. We need to get out of our own way. Stop overthinking. Stop being perfectionist. Just like one of my favorite business principle is fail fast, fail forward. Just take that first step and learn. Whether so, even when you fail, just like you said, Michael, earlier, you're either gonna learn or you earn. So both ways you win. What is an expert? An expert is someone that mastered all the ways to fail. That's invaluable because in life and in business, it's important to know what to do. But you know what's 10 times more valuable? Knowing what not to do, knowing what not to say. That can literally save your life in the right circumstances. So, anyways, thank you for that beautiful reminder, Michael. Thank you for being here today. Thank you, Travis, for joining us. And thank you, Bryan. Bryan already left. And tomorrow we'll have more people. But I enjoy more of those smaller groups because we can really go deep. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. You both, all of you guys on the West Coast, so 5 p.m. your time. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same channel. Have a good one. Any question? I'm here for you. God bless. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. Cheers.